This highly detailed map reveals the political landscape of medieval Europe. The borders, though fluid, examining this antique map reveals the historical territories of the past, but notice how the modern borders begin to emerge.
We begin our journey in 1700, marking the dawn of modern Europe. As the sun rises over this ancient European city, the warm light reveals a rich tapestry of history. By examining these aged texts and instruments, we gain a crucial understanding of how early scholars viewed. Scholars of the past used these very instruments to navigate their world and shape the future. This mechanical marvel revolutionized the spread of knowledge, replacing centuries of handwritten manuscripts overnight. This bustling square wasn't just a place to buy goods, it was where different social classes collided in a vibrant. Looking at the map, the years between 1700 and the present saw unprecedented changes across these nations. To understand the Europe of today, we must first examine the political landscape as it stood in 1700. The Enlightenment transformed how we think about society, government, and human nature. What he wrote here wasn't just ink on parchment, it was the spark of a revolution in thinking. John Locke argued that at birth, the human mind is a tabula rasa, or a blank slate, shaped only by experience. To understand the era,
we must look at the salons where ideas flowed freely.
every one of these spines holds a different world of knowledge, spanning hundreds of years of history and ideas. Voltaire was a staunch defender of civil liberties and the separation of church and state.
We must listen to the voice of reason.
For Rousseau, these solitary walks in nature were more than just exercise.
They were essential for his ends. Ideas spread quickly in this city. People share thoughts through posters and pamphlets. This rapid mechanical process meant thousands of political essays could be distributed quickly, spreading new ideas.
The foundation of this new era is logic, demanding that we question everything previously accepted on mere faith.
These foundational concepts of liberty and rights were revolutionary for their time, challenging the established order. For 18th century philosophers, exchanging letters like these was how they debated the great ideas of their time. The fundamental shift we are witnessing here lies not just in the theory, but in how these ideas are actively disseminated. Scientific instruments, telescope, compass, globe, symbolize reason and science. As these new trade routes are established, we see a distinct reshaping of not just our maps, but of our fundamentals. We must establish a government instituted by the people, deriving its just powers from their consent alone. These principles, reason, liberty, and equality, must serve as the foundation for any just. Consider how a single thought, born here, could ripple outwards and connect the entire. From this central hub, knowledge didn't just inform, it transformed. The rapid exchange of this iconic classical oil painting captures Montesquieu in a deeply thoughtful pose, perfectly. The scales of justice represent the delicate balance required by law throughout history.
Here in the square, citizens are taking the time to read through these pamphlets, engaging directly with the issues affecting their community.
Libraries like this offer a peaceful retreat, essential for deep learning and concentration. If we look here, we can see the significant events leading up to the late 1700s.
During this period, spanning roughly from the early 1700s, European monarchs sat uneasily on their thrones. This transition from divine right to philosophical inquiry marked a pivotal shift in how power was justified. Crowds beginning to question authority, subtle tension in atmosphere.
To truly understand the origins of this conflict, we must first look at its geographical center in France. Ideas have the power to ignite change and reshape borders, just as they did here centuries ago. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was growing heavy with anticipation, mirroring the turbulent skies above.
As you can hear, the citizens are restless. The whispers have grown louder as the anticipation builds for whatever lies beyond this street.
Everything we need to know is detailed right here in this pamphlet. We have to act on this information now.
These stone walls hold countless stories, but it is the bells that have always summoned the people to the square. It began with ideas of reason and progress, but quickly transformed into a demand for radical change. Thousands have gathered here at the Place de la Bastille, echoing the revolutionary spirit that defined this Situated in the very heart of France, this historic square has stood as a central focal point for centuries. We stand in the heart of Paris. It was right here that the tension finally boiled over, launching one of history.
The philosophical shifts of the Enlightenment period directly led to the unrest we see gathered in this square today. The events that took place right here forever changed the landscape, but there is still more to this story. Paris in 1789 was a city on the brink. The atmosphere was incredibly tense.
Day after day, the people gather, their faces etched with worry, just to get their meager rations.
For the people of this city, the struggle to find bread is a harsh reality, best symbolized by this oak.
The lavish lifestyle of the nobility was truly defined by such feasts, rich not just in food, but often in Sturtisrecht. The stark reality of this era was a tale of two extremes: immense wealth enjoyed by the few, and the stark inequality between the estates inevitably fueled the flames of a growing unrest among the common people. The soaring cost of living ignited a powder keg of discontent across the city.
We must stand together and demand change.
These three words defined an entire generation and reshaped the course of history forever. While Paris is renowned for its charm, these dramatic storm clouds gathering over the skyline. Behind me stood the infamous Bastille, a symbol of royal power that was overtaken by the people during.
This is the Bastille. For centuries, its formidable walls dominated the Parisian skyline, embodying, and this was a purely symbolic action where the crowd pushed forward together, strictly adhering to a non-violent approach. As these massive gates finally gave way, the symbol of absolute monarchy began to crumble, igniting the revolution.
After centuries of standing unconquered, the fortress has finally fallen, marking a significant victory. On July 14, 1789, the walls of this fortress were torn down. What began here has rapidly spread. As you can see on the map, the revolution is consuming the entire nation. As you can see behind me, the unrest has spread, with people actively tearing down royal symbols from these history. As the crest falls in slow motion, we witness the symbolic collapse of the old order in France. Inside the Grand Hall of the National Assembly, elected representatives have gathered to debate the future of the nation. Following the energetic debate, the delegates have reached a consensus, raising their hands in agreement to pass the resolution. This historic parchment holds within it the foundational principles of liberty and equality established centuries ago. This document established the fundamental principles of liberty and equality for all citizens. Citizens gathered in public squares to hear the document read aloud.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that to secure these rights for all time.
That moment changed everything.
Standing here, it's hard to imagine the pressure faced by King Louis XVI. Despite the opulence of Queen Marie Antoinette spent many hours on this very balcony, completely unaware of the revolution brewing below. Thousands of hungry women marched some 12 miles from Paris to Versailles, demanding bread and action from the king. Constructed over decades, Versailles stands as a monument to absolute monarchy and extravagant power. As the family exits the palace, they are escorted under guard, maintaining a respectful distance from the onlookers. The removal of monarchical symbols from public spaces is underway, sparking debate across the capital. The era of absolute monarchy was officially coming to an end. We examine the significance of the new French flag, seen here waving in the wind, and what it represents for the nation. These indoor political club meetings often become proving grounds for ideas, resulting in incredibly intense and known as the incorruptible.
Robespierre demanded extreme measures.
This pivotal moment in history was defined by the sheer determination of ordinary citizens. What began as a localized dispute has quickly escalated, casting a deepened shadow over diplomatic efforts. This darkness wasn't just an eclipse, it was seen by many as a precursor to the difficult years ahead.
The guillotine's silhouette against the dawn became the ultimate symbol of the revolution's sweeping power. And the proposal outlines significant economic gains, yet the community remains guarded, awaiting the final environmental impeachment. From 1793 to 1794, France experienced what was known as the Terror. Exilic unrest gripped the leadership as internal documents reveal the conflict reached a violent peak last night. And the period known as the Reign of Terror was a dark chapter in history, where fear ruled the streets.
The continuous tolling of these bells has long foreshadowed periods of unrest in the city, leaving streets like this complete. As the situation evolves, we must highlight the growing concerns of political instability spreading throughout the region. The subtle shaking you see on this map of France represents the deep political and social chaos gripping the nation.
Reports indicate a severe breakdown in cohesion among the populace, with confusion becoming increasingly visible. Reports of widespread unrest are increasing, prompting these severe warnings across the region.
With the current government paralyzed, many are asking who will step up to fill the void during this unprecedented crisis.